I feel so privileged to be being interviewed by you.
Because you're just busy.
Very tired, busy.
You have a lot going on.
I do. 2025 has been a year of ascension. And I feel like I'm growing and glowing, and I'm having a slight case of survivor's remorse and also imposter syndrome, because everything that I manifested and prayed for in the last 2 years is finally happening. Mm-hmm. And it scares me because it feels so good to be where I am now.
But it shouldn't scare you, because you planted the seeds.
That's fair.
And they have blossomed, and you are living in it right now.
You're absolutely right. And I love it. Like, I can honestly say so I'm 36 now. I just had my birthday 2 weeks ago. And from the day I turned 35 until 36, everything that I manifested and prayed for has happened. Mm. But I learned how to be obedient. Mm. I learned how to be vulnerable and not to put myself in a box. Mm. And if I did mess up, like, what is that like for me? I just had I have several conversations with myself, talking myself off the ledge, but I told myself, like, you are worthy, you are enough, you are valid. Like, don't let anything or anyone make you feel like you cannot do these things that you assess and want for yourself.
Yeah. So when we first met, you were working at Givenchy.
Yes.
And you were the store director.
Yes.
You were a fashionista. Mm-hmm. You were going to all these events, hosting events, going to fashion show in Paris. How did we go from there to becoming a fitness influencer?
So I've always been in love with fitness, and it's gonna be a really short funny story. I go to Effect Fitness off Metropolitan. I am a cult member of Effect Fitness. Shout out to Dooley. But yeah, I started at Effect, and I just fell in love with the gym. And one day we were getting ready to start boot camp, and I said to myself, and I was on a conference call for work. So the conference call is up. I have my ear pod in my ear. I'm doing boot camp, and I'm looking at the call, but I don't have to respond. And when I got off the call, I was like, I really don't want to do that anymore. I would rather be I'm getting my joy and finding my joy being here and not there. And I said, God, by this time next year, I don't want to do this anymore. But I didn't know that he was going to take it away from me that fast. I said next year, not a couple of months.
No way.
And by that January, so that happened that October, my regional quit, the VP of sales quit, people that I was close with. And then I ended up getting a regional that was from the pits of hell. And we just didn't get along. Like, one of my friends, Brandy Mallory, passed away. She was a Delta at CAU, but also just really big in the Atlanta community. And my aunt passed away, and they passed away back to back. And when I tried to take off of work, it was, you have to choose. Well, no, I don't actually. So it got to the point where I had to get the CEO involved and HR involved, because I was like, this is against company policies, and I lost it. And normally I was a yes woman when it came to that, because the misogyny, the microaggressions that was within retail, I was always the token Black woman. And you get to the point where you're like, you don't want to mess this up. You don't want to lose your good job. Yeah. So it's just I was trying my hardest to always fit in, always do this, always be, the light for them. And I felt like a show pony, and I felt like a jester. Mm-hmm. So it got to the point where one day I said, you know what? I don't need this anymore. I don't know how I'm going to survive, but y'all all got me messed up. And I just quit. I was done, because it was what the straw that broke the camel's back is the vice president of the company came and said, your team always uses all their PTO. You're the only store that exhausts all your PTO. I said, well, that's what it's here for. He was like, but how can you run a business if you're taking days off? I said, but time balance is really a thing, time management. I said, you know what? I don't think this is good for the both of us, because mentally and emotionally I had it, and I felt like I gave them so much. I was making them I'm talking about, I had the two of the top clients in the entire company out of the Atlanta location. Wow. More than Vegas, more than LA, more than New York. And it felt like the rules for me were not the same for my counterparts, because I was the only Jamaican Black girl besides the manager that was in Bal Harbor. But that was it. So it was just, MDD, wherever she was in Miami. But it just felt like I just wasn't happy. Right. So I told myself I would rather be a street sweeper, and I would rather braid sand and eat volcanic rock than to ever put myself through that again. So I took all my money out of my 401k. Yep, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna be so vulnerable with you. I took everything out. I paid off all of my debt, because when you pay off all your debt to income ratio, it rises. So my credit score went from a 725 to an 825 because I didn't have any debt. I became debt free, and I said, all right, now that you took all this money out and you took out your savings, what you gonna do? Because you're trying to bet on yourself. And then I landed the show on NBC called Other Summer Games for the Olympics.
What? I didn't even know you did that.
Yeah, it was so much fun with Kevin Hart. So Kevin Hart produced it with Procter and Gamble. So we were on NBC, and that was so funny. We did the first season, so I booked that, and then after that, my profile took off, TikTok took off, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and I just decided to bet on myself. And I said, if I have to live every day paycheck to paycheck in the way, but I have that freedom so that I can create financial freedom, that's what I'm going to do. And 2 years later, and I'm thriving.
2 years. All this in 2 years.
All this in 2 years.
I
That was
just feel like
January 2024.
Went from, I don't know, it looks like 30,000 followers to
404,000
404
within 2 years.
That is
organically, because baby, I'm cheap. I'm not paying for no ads and no following. I just can't do it.
No,
I just don't see the value.
You can see your engagement. You can see, the shares. You can see everything. I had no idea you were on a reality show or a TV show.
It was like, you ever seen like Road Rules versus Real World?
Yes.
That's the type of stuff we were doing.
So that was fun.
Yeah, it was challenges. So they took the top creators in Atlanta within their different fields. Like they had the beauty girls. Glamazon Tay?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Tay was on the show with me. That's my baby. Shout out to Tay. I love her. Glamazon Tay was on there. The guy who does, his name is fleeting me right now. I don't know why. Trey, the one who does the suits and stuff like that. He was on there. So we were all competing. Lola, who also is a trainer at Effect. Okay. So we went as the fitness content people. There was food, there was beauty, and then there was fashion. And we all had to do like actual challenges. Me and my partner, we came second.